Hey everybody, welcome to our Yanks the Cop fans call-in special for the summer transfer window. This is your chance as the fans to have your say on the summer window, contracts, and just say anything you want to say. If you're really happy with the window, say it. If you want to rant about the window, say it. It's your space that we're giving you to do this tonight. So, we have sent the link around for anyone to jump on the call. So do jump on if you want to come on and say how you feel. I will also post the link in the chat. So if you want to jump on, just do jump on. Just feel free. And tonight I'm going to be joined by Doug, who's going to be helping me co-host tonight. How you doing, Doug?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you very much for asking me. I really do appreciate it, and I'm looking forward to seeing what everyone thinks of their transfer windows.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. We'll start the conversation until someone else wants to join in. For you, Doug, overall, how do you feel the window if you had to give it a rating out of 10?
I mean, the fact that we've managed to tie our big hitters down, except Salah, I think on that basis, probably 6. But the fact that we've not really strengthened, I think it goes down to probably a 5 for me. Look, I know we've only
tie our big hitters down, except Salah. I think on that basis, probably 6, but the fact that we've not really strengthened,
am I echoing?
Probably
okay.
A 5 for me. Look, I know we've got.
So, hold on, what's going on?
I have no idea.
I think on that basis, look, I know we've got. Am I echoing? No idea. Probably okay. 5 for me. Look, I know we've got.
So, hold on, what's going on?
I have no idea.
Let's try that one. That's gone, yeah. I don't know what's going on
Yeah,
there.
that has gone. Yeah, for me, I think it's a 5 out of 10, in all honesty. I know we've only signed one player, but we managed to tie ourselves to get these big hitters down. Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Robertson, Fabinho, Jordan Henderson. And if I've forgotten anybody, then obviously just do correct me. But I honestly do think that it is a 5. I think it could have been a lot better. I think we're going to have to rely, obviously, on trying not to get anyone injured. In all honesty, that's going to be a big factor in how we do. But no, we'll see how we do and see how we do up to January. But yeah, I'm not angry. I'm not disappointed. I feel that we're probably 2 players short.
Yeah, everyone, if you're joining on, do remember this is a fans call-in, so you can jump on using the link, the StreamYard link I posted, or if you've seen it around, shared around on Twitter. So just jump on and have your say. We want to hear what your opinions about the transfer window, about the contracts. Feel free to jump on. You don't have to have the camera on if you want. You can have your camera off and just say what you need to say. So good to see you, Chris. If you want to jump on, Chris, jump on, use the link I've shared above. Like I said, you don't have to camera on. Just have your say about the window. This is your space for tonight. Just to share. For me, obviously, for me and Doug, we've been sharing our how we feel about the transfer window on our platforms separately and on combined collaboration shows together. We want to hear what you got to say. So Chris Welch is saying, it's been a brilliant window. Personally, we've got legends like Minamino and Origi. Love you, Chris. I find it weird. Today, I think I saw it was. This is Anfield. I think it was one of those ones, those big Twitter platforms, and they were saying that how the club were feeling that Ox and Minamino. I think they said something about Minamino's had a pre-season, so they've got big hopes. Minamino is going to show
full pre-season. Something along the lines of a full pre-season. Didn't he have like a full pre-season last season? Or
I think it was only like a shortened because of the summer window. Simon said.
Oh yeah.
And then they said Ox as a false 9. The thing is, for me, Ox struggled in midfield, so I don't see why all of a sudden he's going to be a great false 9. Obviously, we don't know what goes on in training, and we don't know. Maybe Ox has been banging in loads of goals in training and looked amazing. But there's a big difference between training and on the pitch, And I think that's we need to be realistic in the fact that on the pitch it's completely different. So whether or not he's going to be great on the pitch is a big thing that we're going to have to see. I'm not. How do you feel about Ox in the forward line? I'm not the biggest fan of Ox when he plays in the forward line, even in the wings.
No, for me, he's a central midfielder. I think he has to be one of the midfield 3. For me, I don't think he's a false 9. I also don't think he's a right wing back. I read somewhere that that was being mentioned, and I'm like, oh hell no. So for me, I think he's probably a midfielder, not a false 9, and I don't think he works well out on the wide right or wide left for me. So yeah, definitely one of the midfield 3.
Just everyone, good to see you, Gareth, signing new contracts. Is great for the club, but this shouldn't be the transfer window. This shouldn't be transfer window related. Cedric says, "Hello, Reds. Just to let you guys know, if you guys want to jump on the stream, I have put the link in the chat above. So this is a fans call-in show. So if you want to jump on with the video on and video off, jump on and have your say about the window. We want to hear what you got to say tonight. How are you feeling over the transfer window? I know there's been a lot of division among certain fans. Some fans think it's an awful window because we've only signed Konate. Some fans are like, trust the club.
Yeah.
The club they didn't want anyone. They're fine with that. Others are saying like that we just have to, the squad's gonna have to win the league title without having signed anyone. There's a big division amongst certain people's opinions.
Yeah.
But going back to Ox, I think I agree with you. I know he left Arsenal because he didn't play right back or right wing back. And I don't like him there. Maybe it's if this was Ox 17-18 when he joined us, I could have seen it because he had that pace, his ability to take on players, he was full of energy, and it was like a breath of fresh air. But since that injury he had, he's not been the same player. No.
And you can quite clearly see it. It was that injury that he picked up against Roma. That was a good. To be fair, he was having a good season until then, until that injury. And obviously he scored against Manchester City as well. We all remember the goals from against Manchester City. He has a good record against City. But yeah, it's just.
Oh, we got one. Before I cut you off there, Doug, and let in Chris, then we'll come back to you. Hey, Chris, first person. How are you feeling over the transfer window, mate?
Removing my sense of humour, abysmal.
Say more.
It's not enough, like, is it? Frustrating transfer window. We always get this hope every season. It's a bit summer. It's a lot of old cobblers, in my opinion. So we have to. It just takes one tea into it, doesn't it? During the season, and then we all howl like a wolf at the moon. So I'm not happy with this transfer window. We needed a lot more, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't argue there. I think you said all facts there. Like it is frustrating. We did at least need a forward at the minimum because of the African. I know African nations might have missed 2 to 3 games, but still one injury to Salah Jota, then we're a bit trouble. And I think I saw Mane scored last night. So hopefully that brings him back. But Chris, are you How did you feel about the contract situation? Like, are you worried that Salah's still not signed?
Slightly worried, yeah, because the under it doors on, then we hit that January transfer window mark, then all these nonsense rumours will come on then with him being like in with Real Madrid, etc. But that's the Spanish newspapers for you. I don't know. I'm 50-50 on that. I'm hopeful he will sign the contract. But then at the same time, if this, I don't want to look into the future. End of the season, we have the same season as last season. I feel he will be tempted by the likes of PSG with the big old paycheck checkbook, and Real Madrid as well with obviously money government. So I'm hopeful, but I am 50-50. I know that's not the answer you want.
Yeah. Can you see any other players potentially signing on during the season? Can you see anyone else signing new deal?
Well, not first was this unexpected, wasn't it? I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't expect that at all. I mean, we missed an opportunity on that first, not casting in on him, because of course he was one of our players this season, last season. I will give him that. But when
You're
it's
centre
value,
back.
yeah, but when it's value, is when we wanted was it around 15 million for him?
Yeah.
We should cut him on him, but because I just feel his price might drop because he's not in that much game time as last season. But I might have changed that. And we probably have the same old players dropping knife flies all the time. So as for other contract extensions, there's Sadio Mane, isn't there? But I've had my opinions on him. I think I told him his own version of Where's Warrior last season. Well, for the whole last season. I still stand by that. Because he should be doing better for the player of his calibre. He's not been... It's too early this season, but he's still the same as last season, in my opinion. But I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. So I think Mane could be the one in talk for a contract extension. I don't know who else have signed a contract. I know obviously most Stanley haven't signed contract extensions, so it'd be hard to say after that. So probably Mane, in my opinion, but with most Salah, they're giving what he wants, man. Just doing what he wants. He deserves to be the highest earner, in my opinion, at the club.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Chris, coming on, mate. Do stay in the chat, and let's see if we can get someone else on. It's been good having you on, Chris. We'll have to get you on again another time, Chris, because you are one of our biggest supporters, and you're always here. So we have to definitely get on another time.
As Steve calls me, Mr. Consistency.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, I'll stay in the chat, lads.
Perfect, Chris.
Cheers,
No
having me on.
Cheers, Chris.
Cheers, Chris.
Cheers, Chris.
Yeah, anyone else wants to jump on the stream, please do jump on. Like, we want to hear what you got to say about Liverpool's transfer window, about the contract situation, even how you're feeling about the season ahead. Like, are you feeling like confident Liverpool gonna get some great results, win the league, Champions League, or how are you feeling? And also, if you haven't done, do smash that like, subscribe button. So, and also, like, even a lesser ant, like, would love to hear what's your opinion of Liverpool, like as a outside perspective of over the window, like, So if you want to jump on, Ant, the link is there. Yes. So with you, Doug, how are you seeing That's fine, Doug. And if you want to jump on, like we're happy to hear your perspective of what do you think about Liverpool from the outside. It's always interesting to hear, what an opposite fan thinks, because obviously you had great business this summer, and Liverpool haven't done as much in terms of strengthening. So do jump on, and if you want to jump on,
I echo those sentiments. Everyone's welcome. Obviously, I've seen Ants in the chat. Hello to the lovely Zani as well. Thanks to the unfollow Yanks. Oh dear.
I followed you. Well, I didn't run the chat, the Yanks Cop page.
That's Stephen, isn't it? Steve?
Yeah, I didn't run that. But John, if you want to jump on and have your say about Liverpool season, Zani, you're 100% welcome. Just going to post a link in the chat. Stephen, good to see you, mate. If you want to jump on, Stephen, and have your say about the season, about the contracts, about the summer window, please do jump on. Like, the stream is there. This is your chance to say what you need to say. Got Ant. How you doing, Ant, man? How you doing, mate?
Oh, you're right, mate. 2 secs. Just turning my camera on.
No problem, mate.
There we go. How are we doing?
So, we're just curious from your point of view, like, as an outside fan looking in, like, Leicester did some big business this summer. Liverpool haven't done any big business. So, like, from your point of view, do you think Liverpool were crazy to not have done more business? Do you think that's going to jeopardize Liverpool in terms of getting top 4 when you see what other clubs have done in the Premiership? The fact that, Villa spent, West Ham brought in players, Chelsea, City, all this. Arsenal have spent big money. What's your perspective?
Arsenal have spent big money and got worse from last year, so I don't think we can include Arsenal in this. But, from a Liverpool perspective, I understand the frustration of not adding more players, and I don't think the media helps it by linking you to X, Y, and Z player every day, if I'm honest. But I do think the Konate signing is a brilliant signing. I do think he'll do wonders under Jurgen Klopp, because he's one of those players that you can see why Klopp wants him, and that Klopp will probably develop him to a very good level. And then you've got I hate the expression but it's kind of true in this case. You've got Harvey Elliott coming in, who's almost like a new signing in terms of coming back from Blackburn, where he absolutely killed it. Is it Blackburn or Blackpool? Blackburn, yeah. So, that he looks very promising. But I'd say the one thing that I'd be worried at is you're putting a lot of faith in inexperienced players as your rotation players by not investing more, because you've got Tsimikas, who's looked bright in the opening games, but he's not really. I know he's played Champions League football, but that was with Olympiacos. So he hasn't played that much at the top level, and he's inexperienced at that level. Curtis Jones, again, another one who's looking very, very promising, very bright youngster, but not a huge amount of experience with him. Same with Harvey Elliott. So you're putting a lot of faith in players that haven't got that huge amount of experience. So I think it either goes one of two ways. Like, they absolutely smash it, or you might be struggling to keep up with the pack. And the thing with Liverpool is that you've got a starting 11 that can compete with anyone. But as we've seen over the last few years of what Chelsea and Man City have done, it's no longer about having a starting 11. It's about having a 23-man squad. So if a player gets injured, you've got that quality that's almost as if there's not even a drop-off, which I do worry about you guys, that if you do go through another period where you pick up a couple of injuries like last year, you don't have that quality of the teams that you're wanting to compete with do in terms of your depth.
Yeah.
And just a question for you. I'm just curious to know, was there any truth to Liverpool and Harvey Barnes before he signed a contract? Was there anything from your side? Because on our side, people were saying that there was a chance that Leicester before the contract would have sold him for, I think, 50, 60 million, because I think Barnes was injured, and maybe because he signed Daka. Yeah. Maybe because he signed Daka, that he wasn't going to get a team. So was there any truth that he was a possibility of going, or was that just paper talk and he was always going to sign a new contract?
I think that was paper talk, because when you see people like Rob Tanner, who's like the guy for Leicester in terms of he's like the James Pearce of Leicester. You see people like Rob Dorset, I can't think of his name, John Percy as well, saying that there's always, like, Liverpool have been, I think they said, admirers of him, but no concrete interest. So it's like there'll be 101 players that Liverpool are admirers of and that they've got on shortlists, but I don't think there was anything that was sort of like concrete in terms of advancements for him. But I think his new contract, whether there was interest from Liverpool, and I believe United was the other club that there was supposedly interest from, he would have got his new contract anyway, because he was, like, despite the fact of being our second top goal scorer last year behind Iheanacho, he was still on one of our lowest earners in the starting 11.
And talk about your transfer window. I mean, wow. I think you've probably had one of the best windows like ever. Ryan Bertrand, Boubakary Samari, Patson Daka, and you finally got a right winger. The one position you've been crying out for is Ademola Lookman, and obviously you got Vestergaard as well. How would you sum up that window?
There's one thing that I think you've missed there that I think is more important than any of the signings we've brought in. For the first time since we've been in the Premier League, since we've come back up, we haven't lost a key member of our squad. We've managed to keep hold of all of our key players. Because, like, when the Great Escape season, we lost Cambiasso. The season after, we lost Kante. Then we lost Drinkwater, which I know it didn't go for him well at Chelsea, but he was a key member of the Leicester team. Then, obviously, the season after that, who did we lose? Mahrez. Then it was Maguire. Then Chilwell, who I can't lie, I was so happy to see the back of. His attitude stank, but he was our starting left back. So This is the first time that we haven't lost a key player. And when you looked at the start of the window, Tielemans heavily linked to Liverpool. Like, he's that player that him and Ndidi, if either of them go, I think I'm just going to hide under my desk and cry. But either of those two go. And then obviously Maddison, if you believe the Arsenal press, was ready to crawl over broken glass to get to the Emirates. Surprisingly, still at Leicester. So, I think keeping hold of those guys was absolutely crucial. But the signings we've made, they're signings that improve us, not just signings for the sake of signings. Like, our depth at midfield with Tielemans and Ndidi, that pivot is very, very strong. I'd argue second best in the league. But then the drop-off to Hamza Chowdhury and Papi Mendy was huge. So I think bringing in Samora, it helps with that quality within the depth, which we need to compete in the Europa League. Because I think that's what stopped us getting Champions League last year is we just don't have any squad depth, or at least quality within that. Same with Daka. Daka, one of the brightest prospects across Europe last year in terms of his goal-scoring records. Yes, you can say it's in RB Salzburg, but the amount of goals he scores, that's got to be respected, whether it's you're doing it on the Sunday league down on the pub pitch or like whatever league you're in. So I think with Vardy now 35, it's sort of that transition into Iheanacho probably becoming the main man along with Daka. So in terms of that sense, in terms of signings, that made sense. Left back, we've got obviously James Justin, who's out until at least January, so that's a huge loss. And Luke Thomas, really promising young kid, but you can't expect a 19-year-old kid to start every single week. So bringing in Ryan Bertrand on at 3, it allows that rotation. And it's also, we lost Wes Morgan and Christian Fuchs, of those two experienced older heads, which, yes, they didn't play a lot, but those characters within the dressing room are crucial, to have throughout the season to help you see you through difficult periods. So to have experience coming in like that, and then also Vestergaard, solid fourth choice centre back. He's not going to be anything incredible, but he's an upgrade on not having a fourth choice centre back, which you need, particularly when we play 3 at the back half the time. And then I feel like I'm forgetting someone, and I'm being really thick, but I don't know.
So it's been a good winner for you. So I hope Leicester have a good season. We've got Stephen waiting to jump on as well. So do stay in the chat. We appreciate you coming on. And it'd be good to hear the insights from Leicester and hear an opposite from someone who's outside Liverpool, what they thought about the transfer window for us. Otherwise, do stay in the chat.
Cheers, mate. Appreciate it.
A pleasure.
Anytime, mate.
That was a pleasure.
Pleasure. So let's get Chris on. Steve. Hey, Steve. Sorry about the wait. how are you feeling over the whole summer window and the contracts and the season ahead?
Yeah, I just want to say, lads, it's very good to be on here again, finally, and pick up what you're doing. The content's has been amazing, so just keep going with it, and it's great to come up with the work. And yeah, I mean,
Thanks, Stephen.
I mean, I've been talking about it a lot in other streams that chatting to I think it was on LFC Red Forever. We have this big debate about how we move forward with FSG, and see, and my dad happens to be FSG in. Now there's a big split in the fan base between FSG, the inners, and the FSG that are out. Now, what confuses me is the FSG inners, what they want, why they want to keep on with FSG is because they feel like they're what they're doing in the Anfield Road end potentially, and what they're doing in terms of I don't know, rebuilding something is just it's going to make it work. But for what I look at it is I feel like FSG are not taking us in the right direction in terms of refreshing players, or even the fact that if they can even improve the squad for what it was 3 or 2 years ago. Now we've been lied to a lot over the past few years with FSG ever since we won that Champions League. And if you take Konate out of that 30 million transfer, our transfer net spend in total over these past 2 years has been 80 million. Now, and for Liverpool Football Club, after all those trophies you won, that's really not good enough in terms of progression. And yes, there's going to be fans who'll say, yes, shit happens, and we just get on with it, and we'll come back again. I think some of us all spoiled and want success every year. Now I'm fair enough to do that if we do get the success back. But what I struggle with FSG, whether they would have rebuild us before, is the fact that if they're going to rebuild us again, because I know that their transfer business, unlike the past, hasn't really been up to the standards, and I think a lot of us are starting to get impatient with it already. And if you think about the players we've got now and the injury prone that we have, like I don't know if you know, Virgil van Dijk actually was on international duty there, I think last night, and he picked up some sort of minor injury. Now that's quite scary if you think about it. If it's it's only minor injury, but if you think about it, he's entitled to an injury now after that horrible 1 year ACL injury that could have damaged his career potentially. And the fact that for a player team he's gone back up to his feet, but look, I'm worried in terms of injury prones who the backup is, because I don't think the backup is good enough. And I feel like we're heading in a direction with the potential injury prones that we have. I feel like we'll struggle this season to not just get the title, but I think top four, because you think about it, Chelsea have improved, Man United have improved, and Man City have improved, and yet we've only went and got Konate, and we let out 19 players by sold, and for me that's just really not good enough in terms of a big club and for Liverpool standards to do that. So I've talked about it enough already, but in terms of FSG, but I think for me it's FSG out, and I have lost my patience for them already, and my stance won't change on it. You know what I mean? And I just hope Liverpool can turn around against Leeds and we can kick on. But I struggle with the owners definitely. You know what I mean?
I can't disagree with some of the stuff you said there, Stephen. Like I think it's I've always, if anyone who is I lost faith in FSG after the Super League thing. Where I was very much pro FSG before that, and then after that, and how everything they handled it, I just felt FSG didn't understand the club or the fans. So I then moved probably more towards FSG out. So anyone who is FSG in, I'm curious to know, to speak freely for you to say why are you FSG in? I'd love to have that open dialogue because
I don't think I spoke on the contract Niels either. Yeah, for me, the thing is, when deadline day came, I was actually expecting some sort of signing. And that was night before. Maybe that was because of my ignorance and my thinking, but I woke up and I looked to see on Instagram that Henderson has signed a contract extension, and at that point I just went, "It's not happening. It's not happening, lads." And 6 hours later, you hear that Nat Phillips got a contract, and I'm just going, that's all good and all, but where's these incomings? You know what I mean? We clearly need a backup to Salah, and we need a midfielder to replace Gini and also Shaqiri. Those we've for years we've let go of situations in certain areas that we've haven't addressed, and that's why I'm morally FSG out, because of some of the stuff that they've done to not address it, and I do fear that they're not going to address anything going forward.
Yeah. Well, I have to agree. I have to agree with you there, Stephen. Also, it's nice to finally get to chat. I absolutely love the Irish accent, so it's nice to speak to you. But the one thing I will say to FSG out, I think they have made more mistakes than they have made successes. I'll say that now. The problem we're going to have is if somebody comes in and actually bids for us, they're going to probably turn it back. Because if you remember the way when they actually, bought us, we were probably worth 300 million. You look at us now, we're probably worth about probably more than 300 million anyway. So I think that's the problem you're going to have is if investors come in, FSG have got that power to just basically say no. Because they've made their money. They've made their money now. So I think what's going to happen is I think the fans and FSG are completely falling away from being together now. I think that's a definite for sure.
To me, that was all. That loyalty was all gone when the Super League was was even happened in the first place, because that for me was the final nail in the straw that brought the Camels back, and how I think if you remember when John Henry made that apology video, for me that was all fake, by the way. He was reading off some sort of projector in front of him, but how can anyone still back this? Now there's some YouTube channels, I'm not going to mention their names, but they're still hanging on a wee bit to that little clink that the FSG have done for us in the past. Now, and it's scary because you've almost got this, like, for the first time in a while, there's a split in the fan base that it hasn't had done in a while in terms of owners wise. Because if you go back to when Hicks and Jeanette were in charge, they were worse than FSG for me, but they were leading us down a path that wasn't even what was horrible to what FSG are doing right now. And when FSG took over, I always remember this. I always remember when they took over. Actually, I started high school when they first took over. I remember it clearly. And when they took over, they were supposed to be the saviors that were going to lead Liverpool back. And to be fair play to them, during them early years of Liverpool, under Kenny Dalglish and under Roy Hodgson, they actually started. They nearly came to every single game that they had at home. And now, and you just had to, and get behind them because you just thought they actually cared. But then as time went on, I think when Brendan Rodgers' era began, that's when you start to see a disconnect between FSG and transfers, because you hear this sort of model that's going around that's sell to buy, and that if you're selling to buy, and that's not particularly the right option, but you could rebuild the first time. And when we got Jurgen Klopp in, I think FSG were doing good business in terms of getting the right players in, and the redevelopment of the new stand, that was all going good, and we kind of let it go whenever we were on success under Klopp. But I think whenever the transfers started last year, when the pandemic started and furloughing staff and all that crap, I think that's when it all started for the FSG outs and the Super League especially. And right now we are facing a situation where we don't know where we're going. We don't know if we're going to refresh the squad because we've clearly got injury-prone players. It's the case of like, I do believe that FSG will sell eventually, because I don't think the fans will accept it, because I've seen our fans go relentless with the owners that they never liked, and they were able to get them out of the club. It's just a case of, can they actually back up to get us back up to where we are? Because like you said, I mean, FSG, they were doing good in the early stages of what they were doing, but as the time went on, it's just for some reason they haven't had this disconnect between the club, and it's this it's hard to back them, and I find it strange that there's a mix in the fan base between this. It really baffles me.
Yeah, I think what also interests me is the fact the Michael Edwards issue. If he goes, I don't know much about this number 2 guy they mentioned. Who's the guy they promoted recently? They mentioned.
I actually have no idea.
It was
Daniel somebody, I know that, but
they mentioned someone that they promoted that they felt that Julian Ward, that's it. Chris Welch said it. Julian Ward.
So
I don't know. I know they said that he's had he revamped our loans, and he's been involved in a lot of contracts now. and they got highly rated for him. But I think, Michael Edwards, it's going to be a big shoes for him to fill in terms of taking over Michael Edwards if he does leave. So it's going to be like, obviously, when you look at it as well, next summer, they've got a lot of players who are into the twilight years, more or less, So it's going to be like a massive job of Milner's going to be 36 next summer. So it's going to be a big thing of revamping the squad. And my thing was to do all in one summer next summer is a big risk. We should have been doing some of it now, but we have to. I think we'd have to just wait and see what happens. Because we might be shocked and end up winning the Champions League, and then being vindicated because of what they did in the summer. Remember when when we won the Champions League, we signed Sap van der Berg,
Harvey Ellis.
And then we won the Premiership. So they might end up being vindicated and proving us all wrong. So it's one of the things you're going to have to wait and see the season because, I've been mostly vocal throughout with my displeasure of it. So it's a hard one to know now, because it's going to be. I don't think we've got the squad for the FA Cup or the League Cup. The League and the Champions League, we've definitely got the squad. We've got a lineup for that. It's just we need some luck along the way. We need to make sure that we beat all the small teams.
Stephen, what do you make of the Origi to Fenerbahce rumours? Anything in that?
To Fenerbahce, probably, but it wouldn't surprise me because it's clear that Klopp is clearly offloading Origi anyway. I think I said it on Super Chat in Team Koppish's stream one night. I might have now. We all know Firmino and Mane is the way of the form, and Salah is almost carrying them two at the moment. And we don't really have Firmino hasn't been the same player. He's still playing at number 9, and he's not really doing anything out of it. Now I'll be proved wrong if he eventually goes into good form, but. I then realised that if we've got Origi still in the squad and we haven't sold him, why not go for a few games? Why not give Jota a chance on the left wing, give Origi a chance as a striker, and then go for Mohamed Salah on the right? Now, if Mohamed Salah and Jota are in between Origi and they're putting good crosses in, and Origi potentially finishes them chances, then I think Origi will all be feeling well and forgiven because he's got two players beside him who are on form delivering those passes and crosses in, but. Klopp clearly doesn't like Origi at the moment, and he's struggling to get into the bench, as well. You know what I mean? It's Minamino. Do you think he might? I don't know if he'll still get a shout, but I would maybe go for that in a few games. But I don't think Klopp's not going to because of his his unloyalty to Origi. But if there was something I would like to see going forward for 3 games, that'll be it. I don't know what you think.
I think my problem with Origi is every time he comes on, he looks unmotivated. In pre-season, he looked unmotivated in a lot of pre-season. When he missed the penalty, didn't look like he was bothered or motivated at all.
Yeah, it just sums his career up for me. Those penalty misses, it just sums up. I think he scored in one of the friendly. I can't exactly remember who it was against, but hardly celebrated. And this is the problem I have with Origi is that. Whenever he comes on, he doesn't really make that impact anymore that he used to.
Yeah, I think I know I would agree to that. I don't think Origi's done himself any forms. During when we won the league in the latter part of the stages or the fact of last season. But I went for that. I basically went for that option because I don't think Firmino has covered himself in glory lately. I think he's been. He's 30 now, and his form. He scored crucial goals. His form hasn't really been the best. Apart from what it was 2 years ago, and I think some of us are looking for that actual striker to actually bury them into the net. And I almost thought if you would have had Jota and Salah and Origi up top there, that would have worked. But like what you said, if Origi's not really in the best form on that pitch, what's the point? Because you need players who are going to be motivated, especially in this Liverpool team, and what I mean. I can see why Klopp doesn't fancy Origi anymore. I can definitely see why he's trying to offload him.
I think the same with Minamino. I think I wasn't that impressed with Minamino at Southampton. And, I've spoken to a few of my friends who are Southampton fans, they weren't that impressed with him either. So I don't see where Minamino fits in the Liverpool team. I don't think he can play as a 10 or no, as a 9.
We
as a main striker.
don't know his best position. That's the problem with Minamino. We do not know his best position. 1 minute he's wide right, 1 minute he's wide left, 1 minute he's through in the midfield 3 just behind the striker, and 1 minute he's the false 9. Where do we actually think is his best position? For me, he's a number 10 that he played for Salzburg.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think it's number 10. I just don't think that we trust him to play that number 10 for Liverpool. You know, like in sense, like I still think he's lightweight. He's not. I think he needs to bulk up a bit more in terms of muscle.
Well, you say that, but I saw signs from that friendly against Osasuna that he actually looked like he bulked up. He was actually getting the ball. He was chesting it down. I feel he has actually bulked up a little bit. So hopefully that's for good things to come, because I think we are going to probably expect him to play this season. I think you'll probably see him potentially at. I think he'll start at Norwich in the Cup. I think he will start at Norwich in the Cup, and I think you might see him play some Champions League games.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. But whenever we signed him, I remember this. I knew he was a right winger because I think he played there a wee bit for Salzburg, and I always remember when he scored against Liverpool that was the position to play for them. And I always thought that he was going to be the backup to Salah. That's how I saw it. But as he's arrived, you know what I mean. It's jumbled up positions where he's trying to play, where he's not. You know what I mean. And that's my frustration with Minamino. Some performances haven't been good enough. You know what I mean. Especially in which position he's playing. Klopp tends to do this a bit with some of the players, and it's really frustrating to see because you want those players to be in the right positions. But Minamino for me, I'm kind of losing my patience on him. He didn't really have a good spell at Southampton, really. You know what I mean. And it's hard for me to see if he'll improve that. I'll give him one more season. But if he does not improve me this season, then he's going to have to go along with Origi as well, because he went. If I want to see Minamino do well, it might be in the midfield, attacking midfield, or it might be on the right wing, because I know we need a backup to Salah, and I would never want to see him on the left wing because Mane's already covered with Jota. But
yeah,
I totally agree. I think it's going to be the League Cup and the Champions League making some games.
Yeah. Another question I've got for both of you. Are you surprised to see Nico Williams still at the club?
I personally am, because I think he only stayed because no one's willing to pay the fee for him. I know Southampton were linked to him, but we were asking, I think, like 10 to 50 million for him. That's why he stayed. It's not because we think he's good enough. I think it's because no one to buy him, and that's why he's staying. So I think we might as well keep him. So otherwise, that's my opinion on him.
Yeah, I mean, I would say similar things, but I think the reason why Nico was stepped up because I believe Klopp believes in him a wee bit because he's got youth on his side. At the end of the day, I haven't really seen much of Nico to do justice for what he's doing as Trent's backup going forward. But I know Tsimikas is doing bits at the moment for in the few of the games he's playing, and I've definitely started Tsimikas in some of the games going forward to give Robbo a chance to get himself back up to fitness. But Nico's a weird one for me because he doesn't really have the same impact as what Trent does. And you want a backup right back who can do some of the things to what Trent is doing. And I know Joe Gomez can play a right back, but if we put him a right back, are we losing a wee bit of centre back, depth as well? Nico is I think Nico should have went on loan, in my opinion, to get a bit of more experience, like some of the players that went on loan. Because at the end of the day, I want Nico to succeed, but it's hard for me to see at the moment where he's going to get his game time. And for me, he doesn't do justice to what Tsimikas is doing, as the backup. So I totally agree. Yeah. I think Nico should have been loaned out.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, and I do not want to see Joe Gomez anywhere near left back or right back, because the last time he played there, obviously he got injured against Burnley. So I really hope he keeps to the centre back partnership, because for me he's not a right back and he's never a left back either.
Yeah, I totally agree. Yeah.
We're gonna see if anyone wants to jump on. Stephen, do stay in the chat. We appreciate you coming on. We'll definitely get we'd definitely love to have you come on the show again. So
Yes.
Otherwise, appreciate everything you said tonight, mate.
Big up you lads, and keep going with the channel as well. Sophie as well. Big up.
Thanks,
Cheers,
Stephen.
thank you.
Thanks.
Cheers, bye.
Yeah, anyone else in the chat? If you want to jump on the stream, please do. Like, we want to hear what you got to say. Don't be shy. You can have your video on, video off. Just jump on and say what you got to say about the season. Yeah. Just to what I said, Eric, you said we're the Yanks. The Yanks are coming back in October. They are just personal issues, so they're not around. Otherwise, they will be coming back very shortly. So it will be some Yanks on the show. You're asking where they are. I just want to ask you, Doug. Like, I think my question for you really is like, when you look, obviously at centre midfielders, say the worst happens and Oxen or Kate get injured.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I was of the thought when going into summer, I would have sold Kate and Ox because I felt like
I was as well. Because of them being injury prone. Yeah.
Yeah. Last chance to leave because I just didn't feel. No. And were you, for example, were you surprised that Kate didn't come on in the second half against Chelsea?
Yes, I was. I was to an extent, considering the start of the season he's actually had. And yeah, I know that Kate's agent has come out and said, "Oh, it's a bloody ridiculous. Yeah. Shut up, right? Shut up. You're an agent. Klopp's the manager. Klopp knows best, right? Shut up." I was surprised. I was because I think he actually does actually make an impact in the first two games of the season for sure. I'm amazed that he didn't come on. But then again, we are slowly getting him back, if you think about it. He's played 2 games. He's played against Norwich. He's played against Burnley. I think we're just easing him back ever so slightly. Same with Van Dijk, same with Gomez. I feel that that's what's happening to Keita, and I think you'll probably see the same with Ox and obviously players who have obviously been injured, like Gomez, Van Dijk, Simicast to an extent as well. I honestly do think that these players are being eased back, and I like the thinking. I like the thinking. As long as the name Loris Karius is nowhere near the Liverpool team this season, I will be very, very happy. I am amazed he is still a Liverpool player. And actually, I'm also amazed that the name Shea Ojo is still a Liverpool player. It's 2021 and we've still got him as a player. Madness.
Was Karius registered, was he? He wasn't registered.
Nope.
Oh, good. God. So he just pick it up. We basically have free gem for him then. He goes in, picks it away, gets the workout.
Because the 4 keepers we've got is obviously Ali, Adrian, Kelleher, and the Brazilian Marcelo Petaluga. Yeah. So there's, Karius has moved down to from like 5th choice now. Yes, I know Shea Ojo has gone out on loan to Millwall, but my goodness me, just sell him. You're not going to play him. Just sell him.
I don't think anyone wanted to buy him. I think the same with Woodburn. No one wanted to buy him. That's why I had to loan him. Yeah.
Look, I think it's a very good move for him to go to the Scottish Prem. I think he'll do well at Hearts. Obviously, you'll be like, oh, Douglas can keep a wee eye on him because obviously I watched the Scottish Prem. So I think it's a very good move for him. And from what I've been speaking to a couple of Hearts fans actually. And they actually said to me that he had a very good game. I think he went off an hour in, precaution injury, but apart from that, seems to have started well. So may it continue. And obviously it's the big Edinburgh derby next up for Hearts. So if he scores the winner in that, he'll be a cult hero already.
Yeah, hopefully he has a good career. Obviously I wish. Although I don't think they're going to have to play for Liverpool. I hope they all go on to have good careers and start. What did you think about Liverpool? So I think it was our PR team. I think they made a huge gaffe announcing Phillips and Hendo on transfer window day, purely because of the backlash these guys are going to get for their content. If you looked under Henderson's post for his contract, the amount of rubbish that the people are going on about the transfer window, all this stuff. The same thing with Phillips. Like, it took away from what was celebrating two players signing contracts and made them come in for all this stick from abuse. And I think the PR team behind their captain out to dry because they should know that it should have never been posted on transfer day. It should have been the day after. And apparently as well, I heard a rumor that he'd agreed to sign the contract 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. So why announce it on like deadline day? Like,
I don't know if the rumor was true. That's what they said, that he'd agreed it 2 weeks ago, and all of a sudden they put a transfer deadline day. You know, I felt as well that I knew Henry was going to get released on transfer day. I thought probably it'd be a double with him and Salah because I didn't see Phillips come in, but I thought it was going to be them two, and I thought they're going to have a deadline day to make it look like, oh, we're keeping our best players. So I think it was a bad thing to do. Bad PR.
Yeah, it was, and obviously Reece Williams signed a new contract as well, and then he's going to Swansea. Yeah,
kicking the nuts. Yeah, I can see you, mate. It was that.
It was definitely that. But Reece Williams, good move for him, I think. Swansea.
Yeah, hopefully he can get some regular football and build a career. I don't personally, from my opinion, I don't see a future from Liverpool, but I think he can go on to have a good career at another club, you know, and you know that's what he needs. At his age, he needs to be playing first in football now, especially after he got tasted last season.
You know, it's mad when we think that Reece Williams and Nat Phillips, two players who were probably on their way potentially out of the club, have kind of played their way back in, and obviously they've signed new contracts now. Phillips was obviously, I think he was at Stuttgart when he was on loan there, and then obviously Reece Williams was at Kidderminster Harriers, and then these two players stepped up when it really, really mattered, and they deserve a lot of credit. And I hope Reece Williams has a good career at Swansea, good loan spell at Swansea. I think he will have a good loan spell there. And Phillips, I'm made up for him. I'm absolutely made up that he's staying, because I think the club have actually now learned, because of obviously what happened last season, they don't want the same to happen this season. So I think having 5 good centre-backs now, Van Dijk, Matip, Gomez, Kanate, and Phillips, I think we've got good cover there now. Touch wood, obviously.
Are you surprised that no one was willing to pay 50 million for him, though?
Who Phillips?
Yeah. Because obviously there was rumor with him with a few clubs that were interested, but then no one was willing to pay up asking price for him.
I was surprised that Brighton didn't come in, considering that they needed a centre back. But then again, I suppose they go Cucurella. But then again, he's a left back. So I was surprised Brighton didn't come in for him, considering that they've got about 50 million to spend from obviously the Ben White transfer. So I was surprised they didn't come in. I mean, Newcastle would have only really expected a loan deal because they are as tight-fisted as anything. I mean, Mike Ashley is anyway. So I'm surprised he is still at the club, but I'm made up for it. I'm absolutely made up for him, and I think he deserves his new contract for the way he played last season, and made up for him getting his first goal as well, obviously at Burnley, as well. So I'm not surprised in the aspect that people have actually, tried to get him. I think the money side of things has really put people off, but I do think that he will be needed, and I do think we might see him in the Carabao Cup. We might see him in the FA Cup. He will play. He definitely will play this season.
Yeah, but I think my thing for Phillips is he needs to play first in football week in, week out. And I think what's he going to get? He's going to get maybe FA Cup, League Cup games. I don't see him playing Champions League.
I would probably say FA Cup, League Cup, maybe a handful of Premier League games.
Yeah. I just think like he needs to be playing first in football.
Yeah. But, I think... What is he? He's 25. He's 25, so...
See you, Liz.
Yeah, see you, Liz. I honestly think that Phillips is a good centre-back to have, option to have for cups, like FA Cup, League Cup, you probably won't play Champions League, but you'll probably play a handful of Premier League games because we obviously know that we know the December period is really, really tough as well. And basically from after the international break, I think it's 3 games. Is it 3 games a week now? Because obviously you'll have Premier League, Champions League, and then Premier League, and then Premier League, Carabao Cup, and then League again. So I think we will see Phillips eventually. I think in the Premier League, but I don't know when it will be. But the way we've been playing recently, I mean, Van Dijk and Matip, we all know is the first partnership for sure. So we definitely need to see. If those two can stay fit. But that period from December to January is going to be so pivotal as well, because that's the busiest period of the season for sure.
I don't think Matip can survive 3 games a week. He couldn't do it last year, even 2 games a week. He was able to do the first couple of games because it's 1 game a week, but 3 games would be going to be asked for him. So I think we are going to end up seeing Konate, Gomez playing in those games because Matip can't do it physically.
Yeah. Evening, Genie. Yeah, we'll hold me pulling out the.
Yes. Ginny, if you want to jump on, Ginny, for the first few minutes to have your say, this is a fan to call in. So, jump on, have your say about Liverpool season, the transfer window, the contracts, it's your chance. We've got a couple of minutes left. Anyone wants to jump on? Cedric says, I like Phillips. Think he was one of the reasons we got top 3. Yeah, I can't deny that.
100%.
He played a pivotal part. Everyone else as well. You haven't done, do smash that like, subscribe button. We appreciate it. I think I saw Mane scored this weekend. Well, not this weekend, yesterday. So hopefully that kicks him on because, I don't know what it is with Mane, but he needs some kind of restart or something. Because I just don't understand where. Because I saw him also talking about he wants to play. Doesn't matter. He
needs a wee bit of resurgence, doesn't he? He just needs a run of games where he can actually score. Look, I'm made up for him scoring for Senegal. I think it was a very, very good finish. We've obviously seen Kea make a very good assist as well. I think he
it was a great assist.
Yeah, it was. It was a great ball, outside of the foot as well. So it was a very, very good ball there. I don't know with Mane. I think people calling him finished are ludicrous, really. I don't think he's finished. I think he is going to have a better season for sure. And it's all about if Bobby or Mane. Well, obviously Bobby's injured now. I don't know if the full extent of that injury's been announced yet or not.
I don't think. I haven't heard nothing. If it's been announced yet.
I've not heard anything anyway. As well. So it'll be very, very interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see if he does have a good season. I hope he does. I hope he does because he does need a resurgence in his Liverpool career for sure.
Yeah, hopefully he does because obviously I've got Mane on my back of my t-shirt. I've always been a huge Sadio Mane fan, so I want him to. Good to see you, Charles. Nuno Army, he's our resident Tottenham fan. He says every year Spurs are going to win the quadruple. Good to see you, Charles. Well, I want to see Mane resurgent, get some couple of goals again. Hopefully Leeds will be a game for him because they're a very open team. It's more space for him. And we've seen Leeds against United. They're very attacking. Mm-hmm. So hopefully that's the game that he can kickstart it.
100%. It's the same with Bobby, really, isn't it? He needs a bit of a run of games again. So we shall see.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we should wrap up there. Like it's been a good show. We will do this again in the future, people. So we are going to do regularly fans call-ins. We see it's been a good response from everyone tonight. As for our first one, so we are going to do these regularly, actually more often. So if you haven't had a chance to jump on, you'll get a chance in the future to jump on and have your say, whether it's after a football match or whether it's a pre-match. We'll probably end up doing results views, so you can come on and say your opinion about a match. So yeah, do keep a lookout for those. We may have a show next week, and we'll think of if we can do a good, a show before the Leeds game, or it's just worthwhile just waiting for the Leeds game. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Otherwise, everyone in the chat been amazing as always. Do make sure you smash the like and subscribe if you haven't done. Doug, thank you for coming on and agreeing to be my co-host tonight. It's been a pleasure doing this with you.
Pleasure's all mine, mate. Thank you very much. I really enjoyed it.
Me too. So, yeah, otherwise, everyone, have a great evening and up the Reds.